Hello everyone and welcome to Muddy Beards 4x4. I am Robbie and today I'm in the shop testing out and reviewing a new piece of equipment that I've been wanting to add to my shop's arsenal for a long time, and that is this Cut 65 DS plasma cutter from Yes Welder. Now, full disclosure, I am not a plasma cutter expert. In fact, I've never even owned one. And while I have used them before, I am far from experienced. So I think that's going to be the theme of this video, is from the perspective of somebody who's new to fabricating. They just got this machine, it shows up to their door. Let's get it set up, let's start cutting some metal and find out what kind of projects we're going to be able to do with this machine. Let's get to it.
This plasma cutter shows up at your door in a box with everything you will need to set it up, including an owner's guide, all the cables for both the ground strap and the torch, and of course all the air fittings and accessories that go with that, and the box itself in a nice, neat package. This thing was very easy to get unloaded and start to get this thing set up. As far as the cables go, there is real no way to mess this up. Everything can only go one way. The ground cable connects to the far right, and then the torch leads all go and screw into the front of the machine. Again, there is no way to mix this up. They're all made to fit onto one terminal. I just went ahead, screwed everything on tight, and all of these accessories should be set up and ready to go. To set up the gas, this machine comes with a pressure regulator with a built-in water trap, a few accessories, and a couple of fittings. There's an arrow pointing in the direction of the airflow. The first push fitting should go towards the arrow. And then as far as the air intake, it did not come with a adapter for your air chuck, so I had to supply my own. But I went ahead and screwed that in. And then lastly, there's a pressure gauge that just screws right into the front of the regulator here, so you can see your PSI coming from the compressor. And I went ahead and tightened her down with a wrench just to make sure I didn't have any air leaks on my pressure regulator. Now, to mount the regulator, there's just a couple of screws on the back of the box that you can unscrew, and there's a provided bracket. Just screw the bracket back on, and the pressure regulator just simply slides into the bracket, and you can secure it in place with a little connector here. Just screw it on tight, and that thing just kind of bolts up right there on the back, nice and easy. To complete the air installation, this machine comes with plenty of soft air hose, and so I just measured her up, simply took my razor blade and made a nice clean cut. And all you need to do is just snap the tube into place using those push fittings, and our air system should be complete and ready to go. Now, this is a dual voltage machine, so the last thing I'm going to do is plug in the 220 adapter for our first cut.
All right, everyone, check it out. I just made my very first cut with this machine right out of the box, got her set up, grabbed the torch, and just made a cut, and I'm super impressed. This thing just cut through like butter. Now, I didn't use a straight edge, so it's a little bit off here with the cut, and I think next time I'll try a straight edge to make sure the cut's a little bit better. But this thing is super easy to operate, and that's what I was looking for. So this is only 1/8 inch kind of thin material. I use a lot of 3/16 and quarter. So now I want to try this out on some bit thicker materials to see how it does. Let's check it out.
Before we continue with the testing, if you were curious about any of the specifications or capacities of the machine, go check out Yes Welder, where you'll find the duty cycle and the air compressor requirements and the cutting capacities, which for this machine is up to 5/8 of a clean cut, and for a severance cut, 63/64 of an inch. So basically 1 inch when using 220.
All right, well, so far I am super impressed. 3/16 and quarter inch. This thing just blew through like butter, and it looks great, and I cannot wait to use this thing more often in my shop. Now, according to the specifications from Yes Welder, when this machine is hooked up to 220, which I do have it hooked up to that power source, its max capacity should be 63/64, so basically 1 inch. I don't have anything that thick, but I do have this. This is a big old chunk of half-inch, half-inch steel. So I hate to waste material like this, but it's for science sake. So I want to see if this thing can cut through this obnoxiously thick piece of steel here, just to get a gauge of how well this thing works. Let's try it out. Well, everyone, I must say I am very impressed with this machine. Right out of the box, just started cutting metal, and this thing is going to save me a bunch of time, and I can't wait to see what kind of projects I get to use this thing for. And check out this piece of half-inch. I mean, it cut right through it. I did have to give it a little whack of a hammer right in the beginning part of the cut where it didn't quite go all the way through, but that might be my experience there. But that's honestly a good clean cut. That's super impressive. Not sure how often I'm going to be using half-inch material, but this thing can do it, and it's rated supposedly to be able to do even thicker. So, where do I stand on this machine? Well, one of the things that has always held me back from getting a plasma cutter was the affordability. You know, they were just so expensive, and I was just used to using my grinder, but that has changed. The last few years, these things have come down greatly in price, and these Yes Welders definitely fit that category of being affordable. And there are a ton of cheap plasma cutters on eBay and Amazon, and some are even cheaper than this that I know work. I've seen YouTube videos. So why would I go with something like this? And I think the answer is because if you're looking for an affordable piece of equipment, Yes Welder is still a reputable, big company, and I much rather deal with one of them. If I need to find consumables, if I need customer service, I much rather go source it from a big company like Yes Welder that has tons of positive reviews. They're getting to be a very, very big company versus some no-name brand cutter that I might find on Amazon. And so that is why I am impressed with this machine. Now, how does it stack up to some of those big high dollar machines? I don't know. Again, I'm not an expert, and I think the most telling sign of that is going to be the longevity. I got to put some more miles on this thing. I got to use it more often, and then I think I might be able to give you a little bit better idea of how well this thing's going to last, you know, build quality, all that stuff, to really be able to compare to those high dollar machines. And so, I don't know. I got to test this thing out and use it more, but I'm excited to do so. If you, in the meantime, would like to get you one of these welders, go check out Yes Welder. In fact, there will be a link in the description below for this very machine. And if you use our coupon code at checkout, MuddyBeards, you can save yourself an extra 10%, making this thing even more affordable, and it helps out the channel. So until next time, see you on the trail.